cocktail as we talk about life and death.
Everything in between.
And beyond.
Join us for a little boozy banter with friends.
Hello.
Hi.
Cheers, Trisha.
Cheers to our first live on the go recording.
Yeah.
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 With video.
With video.
This is such a big step for us because if you followed us for a while, you know that we are kind of technologically challenged.
And this has been on our bucket list for
Yes.
I don't know how long that we keep saying we're actually going to do video, but we never do.
Exactly. But
Today's the day.
Today's the day. We decide we're going to give it a try, see how we like it. There's no better place to give it a try than Savannah.
Savannah.
Yeah. We are having the best week, hanging out, being lazy, eating at all the good places in Savannah.
So many good places.
Taking long walks around this beautiful city. The weather is perfect. It's warm, but it's not chilly. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. It's still got like a nice breeze, but I mean, we're both in like tank tops. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not in it. You're a tank dress, but
Right.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we can go around and we're not sweating.
Yeah.
And we're not like, oh my God, this is the worst. It's got a nice breeze to it. We're having a good time. Trisha found the best Airbnb and it's central to everything.
We're right in the middle. You can hear the church bells going off. I mean, it's just a really nice spot. And we are close to a couple really cool things. We found this adorable little gas station of all things over here called Fancy Parker's Market.
Never heard of it.
Right. And it looks like an old building with one of those old drive-in gas stations. We found out that they're actual working pumps, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But inside is like the cutest little home goods store and food. But then also like sodas and water and beer and candles and just miscellaneous stuff. So we picked up a cute bottle of wine. Like the label was super adorable, Tattoo Girl. And we're giving it a try. So that's what we're drinking. Cheers. And it was also super central and close to the Savannah Theatre, which we decided this time we were going to do the paranormal experience, which was a 3-hour investigation.
Very cool.
It was the best decision we made ever. Because it was so fun. The people that do it, Micah and Courtney with Ghost Coast Paranormal, are fantastic. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. Their knowledge of the history is crazy ridiculous. Like you can ask them any question and they have an answer for you. And it was just so much fun. So we're going to jump right into that because that is the whole reason that we couldn't wait and decided to try something new.
From the first moment that we walked in, there was actually, it's a still working theater.
Yes.
So there was a whole like Savannah live production. They had 3 tour buses out front and Trisha and I were walking up, we're like, what's happening here?
Are all these people here for the paranormal tour? That's
which a lot of them were like, I don't think this crowd is paranormal tour material.
Some of them had walkers, so I don't think they were hanging out till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning looking for ghosts. But that all got cleared out when we walked into the lobby. They were still doing meet and greets with the cast, which I thought was really cute. And so we were able to, just kind of watch for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
the staff there was really nice. They greeted us, like, I guess the door lady greeted us and she says, oh, you're here for the tour. Just wait for a few minutes. I'll go get somebody. She scurried off. And then just like a few minutes later, Courtney came up and she's like, hey, how's it going? We're still getting kind of set up. And we're like, don't worry about it. But she checked us in and we just kind of waited until a few other people showed up.
Right.
which was not very many, which
Not
was
very
a
many.
huge bonus.
I cannot even imagine doing this with a full-on group. We had there was a couple that walked up and bought their
Basically bought
tickets.
their
Yeah,
tickets there.
that at that minute, and then there was another couple that had pre-registered, and so 6 total is all we had, and it is the perfect size. If you can come, during an off season to Savannah, I highly recommend
Highly
doing this.
recommend it.
Yeah, because it was so nice to have a really small group. It felt really personal. We were able to see and do, I think, a lot more that would have been harder with a large number of people trying to do
Mhm.
the same thing as you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Courtney explained they had every single piece of equipment that you can think of for paranormal investigations.
Yes.
Courtney went through each and every piece of equipment, and they had enough equipment that each group had their own camera, infrared camera.
Right.
We had our own headphones with a
EVP.
the recorder that amplified anything that you hear, and man, did it amplify. That was
Absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah.
EVPs, we were able to walk around, so that
The
was
EMF
EMF.
to go everybody had their own an
Yep.
EMF gadget so you could see any spikes or anything like that, which was really cool. But they also had a bunch of things spread around the building already set up. The little what were
REM pods.
REM pods, uh, cameras everywhere. They and they let us know right off the bat we're recording everything, including you. That way, if you see anything or if you want a copy of that footage, you just let us know about what time it was and we'll go back and pull that footage for you, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. So after Courtney, explained everything about the equipment, everything, we went and hooked up with Micah, and Micah really, told us about the history. Then we went inside the theater and sat in the seats, and Micah continued to finish on with the history. Then
Right.
once the history, which was a wealth of history that
Right.
goes back
Not
so
just
far.
the origins of the theater, but also the people that used to work there
Yeah,
or perform there that may still be there.
'cause you never
So
know.
it gave us the history of the building as well as the history of the people that might actually still be lingering. So that was kind of cool. And the backstories for each one. And he really focused on 3,
Right.
right? It was really just, well, actually
Well,
4.
there was a
There
yes.
was 4. So after the history, he took us around the building. We kinda
Mhm.
walked around and
Showed us where each, place was and where all the equipment was and kinda like the known hotspots of the
yes.
theater.
So the first place he took us, well, while we were sitting in the theater, he told us about Elizabeth,
Mhm.
who tragically died when the building caught fire and she was stuck under the stage where
Yeah.
the dressing room was. And that was a very
That was a
interesting, sad
very
because they
sad
had
story.
nowhere to go. There was one way up and one way down, and the fire started over the stairs that go down.
Mhm.
So that was a really interesting
Basically, it
story.
just trapped them in the women's dressing room, and they just couldn't escape. They died from smoke inhalation,
Right.
which was very sad to hear,
And
especially since she just got
she had
she just got a
just
contract for
right,
being to travel and perform with
right. I mean, there
the
was a very long story about it.
long story,
I could probably only tell you about 50% of the story.
and I would only tell you about 30. Once again, do the Googles. Google
Which
it.
he did say, there's a lot of talk about it, but he's struggled to find, like, an actual
Factual.
right, like, source.
Couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it, but it's been told so many times and passed down for 200 years that he's like, "It's gotta be true. There's gotta be some
There's gotta
sort."
be some because every urban legend has some sort of truth to it.
Absolutely. So, from there, he took us backstage to where, a stagehand had committed suicide in the early 90s.
Mhm.
And so he talked a little bit about that in
Mhm.
that area. And then
Went to the other side of the stage, and they call it the creepy hallway, or it was the creepy staircase.
that's upstairs.
Both were creepy.
Right, right.
Okay.
But the creepy hallway went to the back where they call it the green room, and that's now the men's and women's dressing rooms. And so they had set up a bunch of things in that hallway to try to catch activity in there.
Motion sensors, little motion sensors that played music, which was like music box music, so it made it creepy if
So
you
it's like
heard
an
anything.
EMF detector, but the music box would go off. And that
Creepy.
was, what did she call them? The objects, trigger objects is what she called them. So they had a lot of things that were disguised as things that would be more familiar to any spirits that would be lingering in the
Yeah.
building, like gas lanterns, the music box, a fire truck. Because again, one of the ghosts that they think that are in the building is a young boy of about 9, 10 years old
Mhm.
that died in the staircase we were just talking
Yeah.
about, which was from upstairs, as well as his father had also
Ran
passed
back in.
trying to save him. And then there was also the film projector operator
George
who um, died
of a heart
of a
attack,
heart attack in the projection room.
which you were allowed to go in.
Yes,
You were allowed to go everywhere through this
everywhere
theater
except
except the catwalk.
right, no stairs, no catwalk. So I thought that was pretty cool
Yeah.
because you had access to about every space of that building. So we had a really great time talking to Micah, talking to Courtney about the building, about the methods that they use, why they use them. Uh, so it was just a very informative time for us as well,
Yeah.
right? I would say.
So did we get any activity?
Well,
Well,
we are already on the skeptical side. Uh,
but one thing
One thing
right
was
off the bat
weird, and
was very weird.
we're gonna actually request to get that little bit
Yeah,
of
that
footage
little
from
clip.
them because,
Did we hear it correctly?
I don't know, but our
She's the one that said, "Oh my gosh,"
as
and I'm like, "Well," and she goes, "No."
well, as soon as we started, as soon as they said, "Go investigate," we,
Everybody ran upstairs.
everybody ran upstairs and we took off for somewhere
The
downstairs.
opposite direction because we were gonna go upstairs, but when we saw everybody go upstairs, we're like, "That's not where we're gonna go."
No.
So we went to the green room.
Yes.
As soon as we walked in the door, I was first and I
The
said,
little voice box
yeah,
thing went off.
I said, "Hello," and
And
it
it
said,
said Layla. I heard it clear as day. Now, I'm going to tell you, all night long, this voice box, they had several throughout the building, and I could not understand one word coming out of any of them. People are like, oh, it just said this. Oh, it just said that. I'm like, no, it didn't. But I heard Layla clear as day. And I said it to her. I'm like, did you just hear your name? And
I
she's
heard
like,
it too,
I think I did.
but wasn't it was more like a it was more
Exactly.
like a whispered Layla, but it definitely came from the box, and I will admit that it did sound like my name, and then but for the skeptic to say, "Oh my god."
I heard it. So, because we know about when it was and which camera it was, we
Should be easy
should
to
be able
find.
to get
Yeah.
the
'Cause it
information
was
from
the
them.
very start when we were all cut
So
loose.
if we get that video, we're totally gonna post it on our Instagram because I
Let's see
swear
what
I
you
heard
think
it.
about
Yeah,
it.
I swear I heard it.
I mean, and if Trisha says it, you know for a fact there was some
There was
basis to it
something, there was something. So, we spent a good hour in there with
because that
Micah.
seemed to be the most active. They had a REM pod in there. They had this really cool thing, like a bell. Like the bell was going crazy before we got in. It's like
It was like
the
an EMF detector,
yeah.
but instead of spiking like with lights, every time it would spike, the bell would ring. But they were also using it as a yes, no type
Mhm.
thing. So when it would spike, one ding was yes, two dings was no, is how they informed
Yeah.
us. Now, mm,
Was it accurate?
mm,
Sometimes it was coincidental,
I felt,
I
yeah.
felt.
But did it go off a lot and randomly?
Yes. Was it
Absolutely.
going off a lot before we went in that room? Because that was the
Yes.
last place that after we did the group tour, that was the last room that we were in. As we're exiting that room, we were back in the lobby, and that's when we were cut loose. So that's when everybody went up there. But as Trisha and I were saying, "Okay, everybody's going this way, we're going this way," and as we're walking up, the bell was just going,
Going
going, going,
off.
going,
And
going.
that's why we chose to go in there versus going in the
Yeah.
theater first because we could hear this bell
Yeah.
and there was nobody in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw everybody in the lobby dispersed to other places, and Micah and Courtney were still standing there. So there was no one else.
Yeah.
There was no one in that room. So when we heard that bell going off, we're like, we're starting in there.
We're starting in there, and that's when I walked in, opened the door, walked in the room, and I was like, "Hello," and it's like,
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like.
it was
It's
kind of
exactly what it sounded like.
was a bit weird.
So, yeah, we did stay in there for quite a while. Micah came in, told us some stories of the building while we were sitting there, and that's when we asked about different techniques and how they got started doing what they're
Mhm.
doing and how they've continued to do it and what they've done since. And it was just a lot of interesting stories back and forth. And so I feel like we made good use of our time in there. I don't think it was
Yeah,
quite
I
an
did too.
hour. We were probably in there about 45 minutes.
Yeah, about we did spend the majority of our time in there,
Right.
because we were just there was just so much happening, and we were kind of
Mhm.
fascinated by it. The REM pod would go off every once in a while. Something other device that indicated, detection of something coming close to it would go off. Not, like, fully go off, but, like, it'd get kind of close to it within, like, a certain feet.
Mhm.
Um we would hear some things back in, like, the hallway or the women's dressing room, which was right on the other side of it,
Right.
and then we left and went to the theater, the projection room, the creepy hallway. When we were in the theater, we went to the end up going up to the 2nd floor where the creepy staircase was, where Ben supposedly had died, and the bell was just going off, 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 off,
Yes.
off, off, off. So we walked in there was a REM pod, there was one of those sound machines that, goes through the channel so that way voices
Mhm.
come out,
There
nothing
was
was
a light
happening.
array, so it had all the
The
dots, the little
dots.
green dots, and then supposedly if the dots black out, that means something passed in front of the light, and I didn't see
We
anything
didn't
like
say anything,
that.
but Micah came up and he was just kinda, like, checking in on everybody, see if anybody had any questions, and he walked over to the creepy stairwell, and he's like, "This should not be going there's no reason why this should be going off as often as it is." It
Right.
turns out that it was just in a certain position, that it was just picking up something. So as
Mhm.
soon as he moved it to another position, that's when
It
it
stopped.
stopped, and I don't think we've heard it go off
Yeah.
after that.
No.
We stayed with Micah in the creepy hallway for a little bit,
Right. But it was cool that he was very, like, you can't always, believe
yeah.
just because it's going off, there could be something wrong,
It
which in
was
this case there
testing,
was.
like,
Yeah.
it was a test, like, "Okay, there's something wrong, let's split it over here," and yeah.
Right.
So that was good. Then we went back down.
Mhm.
It was getting kinda late. It was like the tour was supposed to end at 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
So we went back downstairs to the green room, and they were doing the
Estes method,
Estes method.
where somebody puts on noise canceling headphones and they have the EMF where they're picking up, words and they yell out the words and somebody somewhere else is asking questions. So supposedly you're asking questions and they're picking up the answers through these
And
headphones.
you don't know what's being asked if
If
you have the
you have the
headphones
headphones, you
on.
don't know, so you can't answer. And I felt like
There was somebody that was in the women's dressing room that was saying a lot of like, they were getting a lot of responses. Um, so when she was done, they asked if anybody else wanted to do it, and I was like, "I'll
Layla's like,
do
"I'll
it.
do it."
I'll do it." I'm like, "I'll do it because I
She
know."
jumped right up.
I'm like, "'Cause I'll know I'll be objective."
Right, right.
So they took me back, they got me all set up. I
Unsurprisingly, Layla didn't hear anything.
I heard maybe "ow."
You
That's
heard
it.
yeah, you heard, like, 2 words that didn't even go with anything that was being
Yeah,
said.
and it was cycling so fast, it was a lot of music, it was a lot of static, and by the time you're listening to you're listening to music and you think that there's gonna be, like, a word come through, it's cycle again, and
Yeah,
so, basically, if I heard anything that sounded like a word, I couldn't understand the word, so I heard things, but I couldn't hear that clearly enough to say what was coming through. So
right.
after a while, I just stopped
Yeah.
because maybe the ghosties didn't like me and they didn't wanna talk to me.
Now, to be fair or unbiased, um, the girl one of the other girls so there was 2 guys and then 4 women, and the other and she was a girl. She was just a
She was a
tiny child.
girl.
She's probably 19, 20 years old.
They were
She
probably
looked
in
like
their
a
early
baby,
20s.
but,
They were very young.
she did not hear anything either.
She
She really struggled to hear anything, and she couldn't figure out if it was because she wasn't understanding the words or if it was because she just wasn't hearing
Well,
anything.
also, she was scared and she
Right,
didn't want, which is fine, and she didn't wanna go into the women's dressing room because 'cause you're alone in there, and then
right.
the creepy hallway is right there, and there's REM pods set up, and
So she was scared.
you're supposed to look in this mirror, this dark mirror with, like, candles, and, you're staring at the mirror, but you're not staring at yourself, so you're checking to see if anything, like, moves behind you. Change if you hear anything, feel anything, or see anything, you're supposed to say it.
Right.
I'm I did not, but she did not wanna go back there, so they brought the device to her in the green room with all of us, and, I mean, you truly can't hear anything, so I don't feel like she was hearing any questions that we were saying because you truly cannot hear anything
Exactly.
except what is coming through those headphones.
Right. Now, on the flip side, the other lady that was with us was,
She was getting a lot.
she was getting so much. She was also super into this whole thing.
Yeah, her and her
Um,
husband both were.
from what we could gather, they had watched every episode out there that had anything to do with the Savannah Theatre, as well as other, ghost hunting related shows. They seem to be super huge fans, and, so when it came to asking questions and they were super into it,
Yeah.
like, they had watched a lot of shows
Yeah.
and they were emulating
They
it,
definitely
so
had a leg up when it came to knowing what to ask about the
and
theater
where to
because they
go because they had
yeah, we
watched
went into it blind. We haven't watched any shows. Now, when we got back last night, we did have some at 3 o'clock
3 o'clock in
in
the
the morning
morning, we decided to watch the Portals to Hell
episode.
episode about the Savannah Theater, and then we're like, "Oh, we should have gone on the stage or done
Yeah.
this or done that," but I'm kinda glad we didn't
Mhm.
do any of that
I am
and
too.
just went in and tried to figure it out on the
Yeah,
fly because I think that made it more fun.
I do too, but now that we know what we know,
Yeah.
we would 100% go back
Yeah.
because it was so enjoyable, so much fun. It was just one of the best. Even if nothing, you don't find anything. It's
Right.
one of the best investigations that I think best investigation and most entertaining investigation that we've
Not just
done.
an investigation, but as a tour, like
Yeah,
even as a ghost tour, it was one of the best we've ever done. They were so laid back. Like
Oh my gosh.
so many of these tours we go on take themselves so seriously, and they were very upfront. They've been doing this for, what did they say, 6 years.
Something like that.
They said they experience a lot. That doesn't mean we're going to experience anything that night.
Yeah.
They were like, you will experience what you experience, and they make no guarantees. They're there to give you information, help you do your own investigation.
Mhm.
And it is what it is.
It is
And
what it is.
I thoroughly enjoyed that attitude because it was very laid back. It was very informative, very entertaining, but it was also a no pressure type of thing. Like, you didn't go in there. Some of these things are like, you go in and they're like, well, if you do this, this, and this is going to happen, or this could happen. And
Yeah.
people get so focused on, oh my God, I didn't do that, so I didn't see anything. You probably weren't going to see anything anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
But they never made you feel like that. They never rushed us.
No, they never rushed.
Now, if it's a larger group, if we had started on time, I can understand that they would have to be more rigid about their times and keeping everybody more on schedule. But because we did start a little bit late with the show being right beforehand and being such a small group, I think they were able to be a little more flexible with us, which we greatly appreciated.
And I think they were having fun with us.
And they were having a great time because they were doing just as much investigating with us as we were with them. And I thought it was fantastic. But, I don't expect that they can do that with everyone.
Yes.
So, definitely don't let it be an expectation if you are able to go and do this tour. But I think if they could, they absolutely would, because they really seem to enjoy
what they do.
Which
they love the building.
Yes.
They love the building.
And that just made it so much more fun for everybody else that was there. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed, we can either get them to come on the podcast or come back and do a little interview with them for the podcast.
Which, that's a huge step for us.
Yeah. Interviewing people. It's so scary to talk to people. So I think it'll be great to, get out of our bubble and actually, try to do new things. It's a whole new era.
Just like this video.
Yeah. This was hard.
We hoped you liked it.
Yeah. We can't guarantee it'll be all the time, but it really was
baby steps.
Really was fun to try all new things, this week. And this was one of them. So
let us know what you think.
Yeah. If this works
Good,
out,
bad, or indifferent,
we'll try to do it again. We're still learning the technology behind it. So
we can do it.
We can do it.
We do what we want.
We try to do what we want.
No, we do what we want.
Yeah,
we try.
So, anyhow, we will definitely try this again. We're going to upload a crap ton of pictures to our Instagram. We say that all the time, but we really are. I already sent them to Chloe, so she's going to do it for us. And we can't wait to hear your thoughts on this and let us know what we should do next.
If you come to Savannah, definitely do the Savannah Theatre.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend, and we're definitely going to do it again.
Absolutely. So until next time, cheers.
Hey, like what you hear? Leave us a review on your favorite podcast listening platform.
For more about this episode, check out our website at boozybanterwithfriends.com or connect with us on Instagram.
Thanks for listening. Later.